Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. We are inching ever closer to the Christmas holiday. And I have a question today to ask you, and it came from a discussion which we'll talk about in a second, but I want to start with the question of, did we all just get lucky? And what I mean by that is, can you identify something in your life that you earned, that you worked for and earned of your own merit, that wasn't predicated by luck? So this discussion came, I was watching or listening to, it's on YouTube, but I was listening to it because it's a podcast. Neal Brennan, very funny comedian. If you've never heard of him, you should go look him up and watch. He has 2 specials on Netflix, and learn about him, because I think that if you're into what I talk a lot about mental stuff and the challenges that I've had to overcome in my life. Neal is, I identify a lot with him. So his stand-up comedy is not necessarily just telling observational jokes. He interlaces a lot of personal problem and conflict and resolution into his shows. So go watch that. Anyway, so podcast, episode 3 of his Blocks podcast. Blocks is the new one. The previous one was called 3 Mics. I would say watch 3 Mics first so you can get a taste of who Neal is before you watch Blocks, but truthfully, you can watch them in any order. So he has a podcast called Blocks where he invites other comedians to come on and share their blocks, which is kind of the point of the whole thing, right? And he had this discussion with Nikki, Glaser. I don't know how her name is pronounced. And they were talking about the concept that we all just got lucky, and the idea is, you and I, we have more than a lot of people. We have access to the internet. We have access to some device to use the internet, to watch YouTube videos. I have the ability to make these videos on some fairly expensive hardware and to upload them and to edit them and on laptops. Well, did I earn all of that? Yeah, I suppose I did, but I was born as a white man in America. I won the lottery, right? Like that, I've already won. But that was not my choice. That was just pure luck. It was just, thousands and thousands and thousands of years of luck. My ancestors didn't die before they gave birth to children. It was pure luck that I was born as a white man in America, completely out of my control. And so the obvious answer is I had a head start that billions of other people do not have. So did I earn what I have? The root of the discussion between Nikki and Neal was that they believe that it's all luck. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that I had a layup, somebody said, "Here you go, buddy." But it was still up to me to grab that layup and do something with it. It was still me working to get where I am. And to be honest, I think that over the past 7 years of doing this show, 6.5 years, but whatever, 7 years of doing this show, I think we can all look back and see the difference between me then and now, the challenges that I've had to go through, the things I've had to face, the parts of myself I've had to reconcile with, and to own up to, and to accept, and to coach, and to discard. That's not luck, right? When M came into my life, I was in complete shambles. I've told this story before, but this house was, it looked like, it kind of looked like a crack den, right? There was handprints on the walls and filth everywhere. The carpet looked like 1,000 dogs had dragged their asses across it. It was a disgusting hole. And I was completely, M came into my life 8 months after everybody moved out. 6 to 8 months after everybody had moved out, and it was just me and the dog here, and I still wasn't capable of doing anything about it. I just I couldn't see how to fix it. And I was telling her this exact story, and I said, my house is disgusting and filthy, and she said, well, then why don't you clean it? And it was literally just like, one of those V8 moments where you're just like, I don't know, why haven't I cleaned it? That's a really good question. I probably should have cleaned it, right? And so that night I came home and started cleaning. And she helped me clean it. She decided that she wanted to see, and she came over and she saw. And she was like, I can't let you live like this. Let's fix it. And we did. And then we've spent the next 4.5 years now working on it. Not necessarily the house. The house is good. There's still some parts of it that need to be fixed and corrected for. But for the most part, I'm more than happy to welcome people into my house and go, look, this is where we live, and it's not disgusting. But it took something in her it took that moment to say, why don't you do something about it? And I wasn't capable of having that moment on my own. So was it luck that she came into my life? Maybe. But what I'm getting at is, these past 7 years, these past 6.5 years, I wouldn't say it's luck, because I feel like, honestly, if M hadn't come into my life, I might still be that person. I might still be just sitting on the couch, drowning in my sorrows in a complete shamble of a house. But I'm not, because I worked and worked and worked. I was on the brink of losing my house to financial collapse at that time as well, and now I'm doing pretty good. I actually have savings. For the first time in my adult life, like, honestly, I'm 43 years old, and for the first time in my adult life, I have savings. Is it substantial? No. I mean, I've always had 401s or retirements. I cashed out my retirement before I joined the state, but now I have state savings. But I actually have money in a bank account, like easily accessible money. It's not in a savings account or anything like that. I could just get it right now, and I don't. It's just, it's accruing. And that didn't happen because of luck. Or maybe it did. Maybe M coming to my life was pure luck. But I think that a lot of things that led me to that point were hard work. So again, did we all just get lucky? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know sounds smart is pallid. It is an adjective meaning a wan, sickly, washed out appearance indicating illness or weakness or lack of energy, strength, and vitality. Many of us maintain a pallid pallor because we want to make it clear that we do not need to go outdoors unless we so choose. Pallid, P-A-L-L-I-D. I guess I'm just much more pallid than I used to be. Maybe that's probably true.